Hi, it's Thursday, June 22nd. I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times, talking about news in Arkansas and elsewhere. The big news today, I think, is they finally released the Senate Republicans' version of the health care bill to supposedly repeal and replace Obamacare. Here's the short form. You're going to have to spend more for less coverage for higher deductibles. People won't be required to buy health insurance anymore, which ends the mandate, and that undoubtedly will cause chaos in the private insurance markets. The states will be able to change insurance coverage at will, and this probably means the end of guaranteed benefits packages for a lot of people. In short, this is just about the opposite of exactly what Donald Trump promised during his campaign: better coverage at less costs and lower deductibles. Just the opposite is going to occur. Millions of people will lose coverage. The news, I guess, is that they hope to sell this on is that this will be a slow strangulation of Medicaid, that they're going to phase in the reduction of Medicaid. But the big news is it means a fundamental reduction in the size of Medicaid over years, which means bad news in the long run for millions of people, most of them on the lower end of the income scale. Old people, young people, disabled people all face bad news. Well, Trump saying one thing and then doing another is not exactly news. I should add today that he put out a tweet today, and if you can't believe a Donald Trump tweet, what can you believe? That no, he has no tapes of his meetings with James Comey. Why did he say he did at one time? Who knows? Who knows what to believe today or before? But he says today there are no tapes. So we're going to have to take James Comey's word for what was said. He did give it under sworn testimony before Congress, if that means anything. Well, interesting report out of Stanford University today. A longtime researcher in the law school there has come up with a massive new study on the effect of having concealed carry permits and concealed carry gun laws in the states. 31 states have them now, and this is what he's found, and he says it's absolutely conclusive. The states that have concealed carry laws have had an increase in violence over the last 10 years, on average about 15%, while the states that don't have concealed carry rights have not suffered the same degree of violence increase. Arkansas is one of those states, of course. We had about a 15% increase in violent crime. You can't say it's because we're not law enforcing. We have a rising prison population, more police, and more gun violence. As the study says, some of the things about putting more guns out there: people have guns to use when tense situations arise. Guns get stolen by criminals more often, and accidents do happen. Speaking of which, a 2-year-old child in Yell County was killed Monday night by what has been described as an accidental gunshot wound. Somehow a gun was gotten down from high above a cabinet and killed the child. The circumstances are not entirely clear. There's some indication the family has people who are familiar with firearms. However, even perhaps an instructor of firearms training is a member of the extended family. The Supreme Court sent another nasty note to the Court of Appeals today. The ongoing bickering between these two courts continues. The Supreme Court handled a routine case over alimony, but took pains to note in the footnote that the Court of Appeals had sent the case to them improperly briefed, despite having a huge complement of judges and law clerks and other lawyers to get the job done right. This is a continuing battle between the two courts about prerogatives, particularly linked to the fact that the Supreme Court thinks it ought to make a whole lot more money than the Court of Appeals does, but only makes $5,000 more a year. They only make $166,500 a year for the lower justices. The chief makes a bit more, hardly enough to get by on in Arkansas, I guess, but rank has its privileges. Interesting little story last night broke out on the web about an intern for Tom Cotton who'd worked for him for 6 months, caught in a taped conversation just saying a string of awful things: homophobic remarks, calling names of Paul Ryan, things against Muslims, things against immigrants, about American exceptionalism and the inferiority of other countries. Well, he's no longer working for Tom Cotton, and you don't really want to hold Tom Cotton responsible for the things his intern said, although perhaps the vetting process wasn't too good. But if you strip away the ugly words and just get down to policy, not much different from Tom Cotton, really. You really would like to have had some ears on the walls for the office discussions after work when people had their feet up drinking a little coffee and saying what they really believe. I don't think it would be too pleasant to listen to, it would be my guess. Well, Arkansas State University wants to get in the business like UA does with big-time football. They've floated a plan for a big new north end zone expansion with new weight rooms for the players and preferred seating and terrace seating and cash bars and all the rest. They haven't put a price tag on it yet. They're hoping for private donations and sale of premium seat sales to pay for it. ASU spends a lot of student and their own tax money to support the football program. The U of A does not. but there's a great desire to be Division I in football, as if that's the ticket to academic success as well. And so ASU keeps fighting the fight. The Little Rock, what used to be the sewer utility in Little Rock, Arkansas, is now the Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority. Still doing the same thing, trying to make water clean again before it pumps it into the Arkansas River. Happy to say the resistance continues. Yesterday in Arkansas alone, there was a demonstration at Tom Cotton's office in Springdale. Ozark Indivisible stood up about the secret health care bill and its draconian impact on people. And also Planned Parenthood had a rally to support at its place last night to continue the important health services it provides. I think that's the only way to go forward when you see policies happening that you disagree with, is to let people know that there are others out there who see things differently. That's what the First Amendment's about, isn't it? Resist. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.